You're not a threat to the enemy. He's staking claim over your life through the spirit of unforgiveness.
We have food idols, and you're obsessive with foods. You don't even know why. It's called an idol.
God is getting his people ready to acquire.
God is looking to interrupt our lives.
A man without a woman to move the ministry of God forward is utterly impossible.
There is a hunger and a demand and a thirst for the real, authentic presence of God that's not tainted by your personality.
The very fact that you're living and breathing right now is sheer proof that you have a purpose on your life.
We always nosy in the spirit, meaning we want to hear what God is saying.
Yeah.
What you saying, God? I want all of what you.
Yeah.
I need you, Lord.
Hey friends! Listen, I am so excited for tonight. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you friends for joining us on tonight. Listen, this is the season 6 finale. We never done anything like this. Ever, okay? Where we have Girlfraann Talk in a place of season finale. Because our regular, we'll just have season finale, friends come on and we'll talk about the seasons and show different clips. But we're not doing that tonight. We're going to have a very, very special edition of Girlfraann Talk where we're going to talk about some things tonight, some hot topics, and we still going to have a little bit of the season finale because we do want to give shout out to our super friends that's been supporting us all season long, and also we have friends that's super duper friends that's been supporting us since day one. So therefore we want to give shout outs tonight. So listen, I'm gonna bring in a person that I just love so much. This is Datavia with Millennials Speak, y'all. She's gonna come in and we just got a little intro before we bring in our girlfriends, okay? And so they wait in the back in the green room. I'm so excited for you guys to meet them. Natalie Taylor is in the building, okay? You guys know her from Women in Business. And listen, Natalie brings that heat, she brings that fire, okay? And also, you know, Nita, you know Juanita Martin. That's Nita, she's our admin, she's our super Uber friend to the show. And also we have Torree Munson in the building. You guys know her from the State of the Church Girlfraann Talk. And listen, these ladies don't play no games, they don't cut no corners, they don't play when it comes to Jesus. So I like when we sit at the table because we for real are friends, okay? We are girlfriends. And what we talking about tonight, we just letting you in on what we talk about all the time. We talk about God, we talk about kingdom, and we don't play because all of them are prophets in nature, okay? And so we really dig deep into the word of God. We lift each other up. You know, at the same time, guys, we pray with each other. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna let y'all in on our little talk, okay? So let me bring in Datavia, guys. I'm so excited that she's gonna be on the show with me tonight. Datavia!
Yes, it's been such a long time.
So long. I mean, geesh. But honestly, it have been so long since you guys did Millennials Speak. And so I'm so glad tonight that you did season 6 finale with me. We just want to cover a few things before they come in. And so before we do that, Tay, we have to give shout out to the people that's joining on tonight. We have of course, my husband is in the building. I love him so much. Of course, he's in the building. We have Miss Janina, our super duper friend. Thank you, Miss Janina, for always sharing, always posting, always loving. Ain't she something?
Always. We love it.
We love Miss Janina. Of course, we have Dejan. This is our cousin. It's Datavia's sister. She's in the building. Hi, Day. And then also we have Tay Janae, y'all. Not you, Tay. Tay Janae. But Tay Janae was with me when we both was coached by Natalie, which you guys will see tonight. She's like the business guru, the business coach guru, okay? So Tay Janae always supporting, always representing. So hi, Tay Janae. And then, of course, we have, I'm sorry, Miss Memory. Memory is our super friend. Hi, Mem. Mem, I love her. She's actually a real estate agent, y'all. We'll be working together on some things. We got some cooking. So she's in the building. Thank you, Mem, for joining us. Guys, Tay, can you see on the thing? I don't know why I can't see. We have Gianna. Hi, Gianna. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for posting. Thank you for joining us. I believe that's Tori's friend. She's on here tonight. How you doing? Or that's Natalie's. One of them. But yeah, that's Natalie. So she's in the building supporting us. Thank you so much for joining. Jason, our super duper friend, he's in the building. Miss Lisa, all the way from New York. She's in the building. She said, I would not miss it. That's our super duper friend too, y'all. She do not miss the show. She don't care if she's in Japan. She's going to try to get in the show. And so thank you so much for joining us. Tay, if you see anyone, shout them out. So listen, on tonight, before we bring in Girlfraann Talk, Tay, we just want to talk about, like, first, the 8 episodes of this season was so amazing, so off the chain. And we cut this season in half, you know, due to a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to be very transparent. Can I just be transparent, Tay, and tell them? I told them I didn't want to do a season 6, just skip a whole year. I had so much going on, y'all. I'm in school. Currently, I had surgery, the boys in basketball, my son do travel ball, Corey was in school, I don't even know how we made it out yes I do, Jesus, right? We made it out that season, and it was like so crazy, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And so of course they voted me out. Datavia, Juanita, and Alice, and Corey was like, no, we should do something. And so this season we put Corey to work. So Corey was on the show. Corey did more. He was on here more than any of us this season.
You saw Corey.
Yeah, Corey was on the show, and he had a lineup. Let me tell you about Professor. He plays no games. He already knew before the season even started what he was going to talk about. He had a layout. Professor came through this season. He really helped us up to Tavia, because
I feel like we needed that in-depth teaching, you know?
He helped us. Yes, and it was off the chain. So he did a whole lot of episodes. And it was so on fire. We needed that teaching. I think it was more of us reflecting this season, getting the word, shifting this season. And so get ready for 7th season, though. It's going to be so off the chain. We back to normal every week next season. But we have some good stuff coming up, Datavia. And so I'm really excited about that. You can tell them about a couple of things that's coming up, though. Go ahead, Datavia.
I get the honor? Okay. Let's do this.
She is so.
So one of our major things that I know Brandy's been working on behind the scenes, I mean, she brings the ideas, she runs them by us, and we're like, yes, do it, go, run for it, you got this. So I know I am so looking forward to the Spoken Truth news. I know that's going to be fire. Like, that's been something for the last 3 years? 3 years. And she's been working on it, and then, things happen, so she kind of pushed it back, but it's ready now. So y'all get ready, because Spoken Truth News is coming. And pretty much with Spoken Truth News, it's like we're that news channel. We're going to bring the news to you guys like we do anyways, but it's going to be a platform specifically for that, where we bring the news, we bring God's word to it, like things happening, we like, okay, what is God saying about it? So much is happening in school, so we get something that's happening in schools, we're bringing it to the Spoken Truth News. What is God saying about it? So I am so looking forward to that.
Yes.
That's the main ones I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
But also, we have Men Talk.
Woo!
They don't have nothing on Girlfraann Talk, but
I had to put that on in there. You know what I'm saying? Now,
the bros are coming together, so that's gonna be fire. We know Corey is going to, lead that, so that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
We all know that.
We all know that.
So Men Talk is coming. So hey, if you're a man out there, you got something to say, reach out to Spoken Truth Talk Show. We're gonna see what we can do, how we can get you in there. But yes, look forward to Men Talk, where the bros will get together, like on tonight, Girlfraann Talk, but for the men.
Yes.
Got a lot to say.
And I'm excited about that.
And it's important that men have that safe space to come together where they're not overlooked, because a lot of people say, where the men and where the men? They here and they gonna be on the Spoken Truth Talk Show. So grab your brothers, your uncles, your daddies, bring them all.
Your granddaddies, your papas, your poppies, all of them. All of them. Bring them. And they going to be very transparent on that show too, Tay. And you said something, it's a safe space for them. They're going to be very transparent. And I told my husband, listen, no holds barred. You can talk about me. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to talk about me on the show, I welcome it, because we want to be very transparent. I don't want to be like, oh, I can't say that because my wife is watching. No, say it. It's all, I mean, I'm telling you, let it rip, because we've been through some stuff. So what better way to tell the people we healed now? We free. And so tell the people about what happened in our marriage, how I was off the chain. So he can talk about that, because I went through some healing, okay? I had to get delivered. I had to lay on the altar, snot and slob and throwing up too. Deliverance, honey, okay? And so I want him to be able to tell them, like, the men can really talk about this stuff, and the women can listen in and hear what the men have to say, and stop being chatty Cathys. Let them talk. Let them let it rip, because it's people out here are going through it. They are suicidal thoughts. They going through so much stuff. So we want to make sure they have a safe space, okay? Or people getting divorced, like right to left, right? Yeah. So we want them to have a safe space. So the men talk gonna be off the chain. I must say that. But like Tay said, not like girlfriend talk, not like girlfriend. And so y'all will see why we say that tonight, because it's gonna be off the chain. And so
okay, they not to be played with.
No. Listen, they on fire. When I say my phone went off way too much, I ain't gonna say who it is. I ain't even finna say who the people was, but yeah, they off the chain, okay? And so this is gonna be explicit. It's gonna be amazing. And so one more thing, I was not going to crown super friends, but I felt like I needed to do that, and so I threw this here on you, Datavia. I have 2 super friends that have been very supportive this season, never been crowned super friend. This season, they just really been encouraging. They've been supportive every time I have a show. I mean, listen, and then supporting, texting, saying how this have helped them. One person really, I ain't gonna say what happened, but they really felt free in one of the episodes, and so they have been so supportive. So I want to shout out super friends, 2 of them, and I'll make sure I make a post just for you guys after the show tomorrow, not tonight, but I want to make a post about you guys. And I also want to send you a special gift. I'm gonna send you guys this. This is our Spoken Truth mug. You can't really see it, but it has Spoken Truth on there. Yeah. I don't think, you know, hopefully you can see it. It's white, but however, it has Spoken Truth on here. I really want to send this to you guys. Thank you for your support. 2 people, which is Michelle Webb. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Michelle. Hold on, let me go and do that. Hold on. Let me make the DJ noise. You know, I don't really like that. And another person I would like to just say thank you to is Ida 4. When I say she's always here supporting, thank you, Ida, so much. I'm going to send this mug to you all. It do take a little bit for it to be specially made and shipped to us, but you will receive it in the mail as soon as possible, okay? Thank you for your support. I will make a post just for our super friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One other thing I want to say, that this next season, season 7, not only we have that, but Amazon partnered with me. They partner with the Spoken Truth, and they're definitely gave us like a grant, I should say, you know, and so for our apparel line, and so we got approved, everything went through. So Spoken Truth will be on Amazon. You should see it right before, whoop, whoop, you'll be see it right before season 7, and we will have new shirts, new everything. And I'm telling you guys, they blessed us. They sold into the Spoken Truth, so we able to buy all the apparel. And so I cannot wait for that partnership with Amazon. Please go to our site and support. We don't ask for money. We don't be like Cash App us or none of that. We don't do none of that. So we just would like for you guys to just purchase some shirts that goes back into the Spoken Truth, because this technology is expensive. And coming up in season 7, if you have a business and a brand, we definitely bring in that to season 7, where if you want to advertise here, you can, and just give us a small donation for advertising with us, and we'll have commercials, things of that nature, and that will be for Spoken Truth News. We will only have that during Spoken Truth News, where we will have advertisements. So get at us, info@thespokentruth.org. And so, Datavia, I am done. I'm gonna go ahead and let them know about what's coming up next with Millennials Speak. I'm gonna get off the screen. Thank you, Datavia. I just love you. Yeah, Datavia is my fave. I'm telling you, don't play about Datavia. That's my daughter. That's actually our goddaughter too. And so thank you, Datavia, and tell them about Spoken Truth. And we'll see you guys soon. Next, you'll see all of us from Girlfraann Talk.
Well, hey y'all. So I'm not gonna stay before you long because I know y'all ready for Girlfraann Talk as I am. But a few things that's coming from Millennials, you guys will for sure see more of us. I know this season, I think we only did one episode. Sorry. But this upcoming season, y'all will definitely see more of Millennial Speaks. Of course, with my beautiful sister, Alice. Actually, Alice made a comeback with, what she was on, Girlfraann Talk with Brandy and she was on Friend Talk and she killed it. So if you did not tune in to see my sis and the rest of the friends, please tune into that episode. So again, we will be back more as the season will be back every Friday. So make sure you're tuning in. Follow every social media platform. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So make sure you're up to date on everything so that you can see when we're ready to launch season 7. And stay tuned for an amazing upcoming season. But what we're all here for is Girlfraann Talk. And as I said before, these women are not to be played with. They are amazing. They are powerful. They are strong-headed, but in a good way. You know, they mean what they say, and they stand on what they believe, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. And what better way to bring girlfriends together than talk about the kingdom? You know, I love Girlfraann Talk because it is a safe space for women. As we talked about for men, it's a way for the girlfriends to get together. I mean, if you ain't got no girlfriends, you better get to looking because it's good to have a strong group of women that you can just really talk to, they pour into you. It's a good dynamic. Everybody needs that dynamic in their life. So please partner with somebody, get you some girlfriends. But I'm gonna get out the way because I said enough. But welcome all of our beautiful ladies, girlfriends.
Yay! Guys, thank you, Datavia. That was so beautiful. Let all the girlfriends in right now. I'm so excited. Oh, we have to have Nita to switch in, right? Okay, here we go. That was a very good welcome. I didn't even pay her for that. All right, we letting everyone in. Hey, friends! Can I just say y'all look so beautiful? You guys are really natural beauty, and I want to say this to you all. Thank you for being on the show. I'm honored to have you guys to come back and support the show. Nene, thank you for being super duper uber friend. I'm trying not to cry this season 6 finale. Why not? And then Torree have came into my life. She's just a wonderful friend to me. We laugh. We FaceTime her and Natalie. Natalie used to love FaceTime. She don't do it as much, but Torree love FaceTime. She the only one, like her and Natalie, like get me on this FaceTime. And then of course our crew, we get on FaceTime. It'd be multiple of us, but Torree, you know, she just became such a friend. This season, it was like, whoa, God just bring you friendships. Since 2020, my husband prophesied that God would send me new friends because it was a lot going on with the friendship thing. But I have no problem with friends now. So thank you so much, Torree, for just being that friend. Natalie, I just love you so much. Natalie came into my life. We are for real sister friends. I mean, we can get on that phone. We pray. We prophesy to each other. We come and we talk about business. You know, we can talk a lot about business and, you know, strategy and what's next, what's new, how to compel, how to push forward. She was my business coach. And so I have such a level of respect for her and all these ladies on this platform. We can talk about a lot. Nita, if anything we have going on, Nita gonna buy a ticket and fly out. That's just how she is. Her and her family, all 5 of them came last time. I'm like, whoa, but that's how it goes. Like, we support each other in that fashion. That's what Girlfraann Talk is about. We ain't messy. We ain't about no foolishness. But let me tell you, when it's Girlfraann Talk, we gonna deal with it. We gonna cast the enemy down. We gonna deal with things that's not talked about. People are afraid to talk about it. When they talk about it, they not bringing it back to the Word of God. So that's why we have Girlfraann Talk. So listen, I hope y'all ready because it's on and popping. We have some amazing topics and we need to go ahead and just do it. So Natalie, tell the people, hey.
Hey everyone, I'm super excited to be here. I love the fact that we are actually friends in real life.
Real life.
So she didn't just pick a bunch of people that she wanted to hang out with. Like, we're legitimate friends in real life, ugly cry together, pray together. You know, she literally be sending me 5 pages of Word, child. Like, literally, you know, like, we're legit friends. So, hey, everyone, if you haven't seen me before, my name is Natalie Taylor. I come to you by way of Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm originally from Jamaica, hence the accent. I love business. I'll talk all things business, but I'm also very big on the merge between kingdom and business. So I'm very heavy in terms of biblical, how is God working through the end time, right? And we know that kingdom entrepreneurship is a big space for where we're funding end time move, right? For a long time, the church, people have looked down on the church as a place for just broken people who are lost. And what God is doing in the end time is showing them that we're a lot more than a bunch of broken people who are lost.
Talk about it. Come on, Torree. Talk about it, Torree. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I am Torree Munson, and God has blessed me to bless me with Brandy, brought her in my life, and I am so grateful. Like they said, when you say friends, I mean friends. It was just something God connected. It wasn't even like it was planned. It was just a setup. It was very intentional of what the Lord was doing and what He is doing. So, you know who I am pretty much. I am a woman that loves to pull and help people come out of their dark place. Listen, I am a prayer warrior. I will pray you out of a hole. Listen, I am here to help set the people free through Jesus Christ.
I love it. Come on, Nene.
And well,
I love y'all, man.
I'm Nene, and I am the super uber duper duper uber
Uber goober boo.
And I when she said that she was doing this, and I'm like, let's do it. There's not another talk show out there like that that's going to speak the word of God, the word of truth, and it's going to be sound document that stands behind it. So I was like, I'm all in. Let's do it, you know. I absolutely love Natalie. I'm learning, and I'm going to love Torree. She's absolutely hilarious.
Hilarious.
And I am I'm a mom.
Girl, hold up. Let me just go ahead and introduce who Nene is. First of all, she's a doula, honey. She take care of babies and the mothers at the same time, help deliver them, and she's a teacher by trade. She let me tell you about with her teaching. When my son was even little, she taught him how to spell his name. He was 1 year old, okay? And so this is what she does, okay? This is her nature with kids, with babies, with mothers, with helping them through even postpartum, pre-postpartum, post-postpartum, I don't know, she do it all. And so she's writing a book as well. We're gonna push her to write this book. She have 2 or 3 books, children books, of course, because she's a teacher. And also she'll write her story, and her story is something major. I cannot wait till she deliver that baby, because she's gonna really help a lot of women. So I thought I'd do your introduction. Do not numb that down, honey. She's off the chain. I cannot wait to see what God do through her. So let's get it cracking, ladies. Y'all ready?
Ready.
So, y'all, on tonight, we have about 5 topics, but I know for sure, don't worry, we're not gonna get probably through one. And so, no worries. And I'm not gonna say who sent a lot of these, but she's on here and she sent a whole lot, and she kept sending them. And then after that, I said the name, so y'all even know who I'm talking about. Then Torree, she starts sending more and more videos, and I'm like, there's no way we can get through it. So maybe we'll do a part 2 when season 7, because yeah. But anyway, so we have some
good stuff.
It was all of it was good. The bottom 2 down here, y'all, that's who was doing it. That's on the bottom of the screen. But it was off the chain, though. They helped me produce, and that's what Girlfraann Talk about. I don't just come up with them just because I want to come up with it. We share in that. And so we talk about what we're going to talk about, but we never talk about what we're going to say with the topics, okay? Let me just let you know. So I don't know what's going to go happen when we show these clips. So y'all ready for this? Go ahead and share, let people know we on here. Is on and popping. We have some subjects that people need to know, especially your girlfriends. Bring them on. But I love that the men is in the building, because the men kind of push us. I love to see the men in the building. My husband in the building. I seen somebody else last name Briggs. He's in the building. And Jason is in the building. Of course, our super duper friend is in the building. And so I cannot wait to show this clip. Y'all ready for this? Here we go, y'all. Here we go.
Of Judeo-Christian beliefs, or the morals, godly morals, that these things are not a good thing to do, but not necessarily sin, but it can lead you into a sinful path. Like an example, everybody says sex before marriage is a sin, right? Show me one verse that says that. There is no verse that says that. There is no explicit verse that says that. You know me, I'll tell you the real. I'm not going to hide. I'll tell you the truth. There's no verse that explicitly says that.
Y'all. Yeah. So, as you can see, the topics for today, the things that we're going to talk about, if we make it through them all. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm outdone. So, if you guys don't know who he is, this guy, his name is Prophet Lovy Natalie. Is that kind of pronounced right? Lovy.
Yeah.
Lovy, because he's Caribbean, right?
No, he's African, but
African.
He has a lot of Caribbean followers.
Okay. And so he's actually, I did not know, but he came from under Bishop Noel Jones. So
he came from Prophet Passion.
Passion.
Yeah,
Bishop.
Passion came from Noel Jones.
Noel Jones. It's a circle. Yes, it's a circle.
Yeah.
And so he's Bishop Noel Jones, I guess, spiritual grandson. So, and
which explains a lot.
It explains. That's what I'm about to say, Natalie. It explains a lot. Okay, why? And when I looked him up, he's been married a lot of times, and he's on, I don't know, umpteenth wife at this point. But however, he's a person that he's known for his prophecies, and where the people feel like he's very accurate, because he's a person that can name things that's going on in your life. And let me not say prophetic word. He uses word of knowledge as well. So and people love that, where you can tell them they pass, But what happens is that he's gone mainstream, right? And he have a lot of different things that happen in his life that don't line up with the word of God. And so what I'm learning, when you get these people that take the word and twist it, what comes out of that, honestly, is justification, so that they can continue to do and live a life of lies. And so he stated that fornication is not, he said sex before marriage. Okay, we're going to talk about fornication. He said sex before marriage, right, is not a sin. And so I was outdone when I heard it. And so as I was, going through the internet, I found a person, and this particular person backed him up. And this person, let me tell you what this person said. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to show you that. But let me tell you what this person said. It's not going to show up on the screen. Hang on. Sheesh. Sorry, guys. I never have technical difficulties like this. Okay. this particular person said, since it's not going to show up on the screen, he said, listen up, y'all. This is Larry Reed. Listen up, y'all. Y'all going in on Lovy and not going in on your Bibles. The word fornication in its original meaning is speaking of worship sin, such as idolatry. This is what they're believing in, okay? Listen to this, guys, so you'll know what you're running into. Whoring after other gods. Make sure no kids around. Whoremongering is in the Bible, so after other gods, and later on the word refers to sexual immorality and promiscuity, not sex before marriage. That's a made-up meaning everyone has accepted in the church and used 1 Corinthians 9 and 10 to back it up. Meanwhile, there is no text and context in the Bible that says sex itself is a sin if done before marriage. That's all Lovy was saying. Lovy then went on to say that sex before marriage isn't the best for most because it can lead to sin. So after hearing that, guys, I was outdone. Okay? And so before I pass it to the ladies, I just want to make sure we know what fornication is. Okay? And so because they totally inject this whole up, and I guess they don't read their Bibles at all. Like he said, we don't read our Bibles. Larry Reed, they don't read their Bibles. Fornication, okay, means in Webster, fornication is sexual intercourse between people not married to each other. Okay, that's number one. Now, fornication in the Bible that's used in several scriptures. 1 Corinthians 6, 18 and 20, 1 Corinthians 7 and 2, 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. There's so many scriptures that deal with fornication. I can't even name them all. But in the Greek, it means porneia, which that's where we get porn and all that from, that root word. And that means fornication, sexual immorality, illicit sexual intercourse in general. If you commit adultery on your wife, that's fornication. Sex before marriage, incest, sexual impurity, and whoredom. That's what that means, and that's in the context of all those scriptures, 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. In Hebrew, it's translated in committing fornication is zana, which means committing fornication and committing adultery and harlotry and prostitution. That's what those mean in Hebrew and Greek. And so that was really, really scary for that context of scripture to be twisted. And I have more scriptures to that, but I know the ladies probably have the same scripture, so I don't want to just talk, and they don't get a chance. But that's what fornication means. So I'm going to pass the mic to one of you all to go ahead and step in, friends.
I want to address something before we just throw out scriptures. Address the fundamental issue. Is that we're in a generation where we, as a generation, we have itchy ears. Right? And that's biblical.
That's biblical.
That it would happen, right? The truth is, in our generation, like even that show that we're going to show a preview of later on, that other talk show, he said in that episode that in that season, every woman that sat on his couch has been raped or molested. Now, in addition to this generation, I'm going somewhere, is that almost 1 in 4 men have been molested and raped. So here comes sexual.
Watch the R word.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
No, that's okay.
Molested, or you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the R word.
We got you.
So because of that, here comes now, even without going through that, some of their parents were, and so on and so forth, right? So here comes, we're born in sin and iniquity. Now here comes this perversion that lives within our body. So I don't know about everybody here, but I know a lot of women who before they got married, women of God, who before they got married, some of them even as virgins into their marriage, because something happened to them, there was issues in their marriage.
Oh, yeah.
So in the Christian church, what's going to happen is many of us, including myself in the past, have itchy ears because we would rather know that we're welcomed than feel like we're on the outside. We would rather feel comfortable and feel accepted.
Come on, Natalie.
People going and creating their own sexual origin and all of that, because we would rather feel welcomed than rejected. And what I'm beginning to learn this year is the feeling that we've been getting with rejection and abandonment is a necessary process.
It
for us
is.
to be rejected from the world to be accepted in the body of Christ. And so if I go back to what he is saying, if I who have itchy ears, or I'm struggling with my flesh, and I
Come
hear
on.
him say there is no such thing as sex before marriage. If you go in the Bible, there's no explicit thing in the Bible. So me now having itchy ears, oh, this is apostle.
That's it.
If the man of God says this, and please,
Then it must be true.
The devil is in the detail.
The devil is in the detail.
Is legitimately in this detail is that the man did not lie. Okay, not the man of God. The man did not lie, but it was very crafty. It was very snake-like. Did the Lord say? What did the Lord say? Did the Lord tell you that you couldn't eat this fruit? That's exactly what that spirit was that we just witnessed. We just witnessed the same spirit that spoke.
Come on.
I'm not talking about Lovy. I'm talking about just the same Peter. Briggs is on here, and he was talking recently about when Jesus said to Peter, "Who do you say that I am?" And then he says, "Upon the rock I will build my church." And then he turned around and he says something to him, and he says, "No, this will not happen." And he said, "Get behind me, Satan. Get behind thee, Satan." Out of this prophet was the same spirit. That
same spirit. Come on, Natalie.
Say that you cannot have sex before marriage. The truth is, for someone like me, if I don't die to my flesh and accept that I've fallen and I've failed, and accept and tell somebody else who is a person of God so that they can help me to come back into the fold, to repent, to make myself clean. My itchy ear wants to be that, oh, you mean I don't have to kill my flesh? And that's exactly what's happening. So yes, there are scriptures in the Bible, and we can talk to that. But the truth is, why are we struggling as a body with people and Todd and all the other guys? The reason why we're struggling is we want acceptance.
We want acceptance.
We want acceptance in our foolishness, and we don't want to accept that we must repent, and we have a problem. We all have one problem or another. Somebody's flesh might not be fornication. Somebody else's flesh might be gossiping. It might be stealing. It might be lying. It might be manipulation, right? It might be laziness, procrastination. But we all have to die to something.
We gotta die.
If we're not willing to die, we're gonna listen to all of these people coming up on social media, over explaining or mansplaining God. Bible. The Bible is there. It's written in print.
It's there. You don't need. Exactly. And then 1 Timothy, you were saying this, but 1 Timothy 4:1, it says, now the Spirit speak expressly. It speaks that in the latter times, some should depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits, right? That seducing spirit. You was just talking about this, Natalie. And doctrine of demons, doctrine of devils. This is what we going. This is where it's at right now. The devil is speaking. And he has indoctrinated people, and we seduced by it. We're listening to it. Anything they say, well, it must be true. It's a man of God. He prophesied to me accurately. He told me all my stuff. Silly women, laden with lust. That's what the Bible says. Silly women. And it's mostly the women seduced by these type of men. And I'm going to tell you the other folks too now. The LGBTQIA. They are too. Okay. And so they seduced by this, so they continue in their sin. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, friends.
Witchcraft.
Go ahead, because I just lost my train of thought.
Go ahead, Nita.
No, I mean, Natalie, wow. Natalie wrapped it up, sealed it. I mean, a wolf in sheep clothes. I mean, just pure witchcraft. Just anything goes, They stand up there, and I mean, I saw him one time. I mean, palm reading.
I'm outdone.
They were saying like, "Oh, he's this. He's the great. He's the great prophet." But I mean, he was actually going through the congregation doing palm reading.
And I know he have a spiritual daughter that actually said that, you know, that's what she do in the ministry. I should have got that particular video as well, but that's what they're teaching. But go ahead, Nina.
That's what they're teaching. I mean,
It really all boils down to knowing the word.
Knowing the word.
You got to know the word, because like you said, we have itching ears, and we go hear the people that call themselves preachers, pastors, prophets, apostles. We go hear this word that make us feel good or make individuals feel good. We go hear this word and they start telling us stuff that we didn't think that they should know. So they're a prophet. They start telling us things of our history or what is yet to come and making us feel good. And so what happens is we don't know the word ourselves. So when they come talking gibberish with a seducing spirit telling you stuff to make you fall into a hole of lust and perversion because you having sex without being married, that's what you're gonna wind yourself going up into, spiraling into, or succumbing to what they say is okay because, like you said, he is a prophet. He told me this, he told me that, and I know that this is a man of God. I watched that video and I watched some of the comments. I read some of the comments that people were saying, and they were like, "Oh, don't talk about him because he is a man of God. I've been in his congregation." And people don't understand that you can be in a congregation, you can be bride to die with somebody, and you can be in a cultish way. You can be under a spell. You can be under, and they have no clue that they are trapped up in a spell that is manipulating them, a Jezebel manipulating them, an individual that is maneuvering them. They have so much loyalty to this man.
They do.
And the loyalty is not with the Father, because my thing is, when you know the word, when people talk against what you know the word is, that should do something to your spirit. Oh, fornication. How can you say that? If you know your word, that should do something to your spirit.
Yeah.
That should be a red flag to you to say he ain't right.
Yeah.
He's speaking against what the word of God says. That ain't right.
That's not right. And someone just said, go ahead, Nita. No, go ahead.
Hey, Torree just said it, you know.
She just said it.
Study self-approved. Second Timothy 2:15. Study the word for yourself.
Study it.
For yourself. When it comes over the pulpit and you not sure, you write it in your notes. You go home and you find that for yourself. And if you didn't find it, then it's not biblical, it's not sound, and it's not God. But again, I think that was Natalie earlier that said that his spiritual father was, I'm going to call him Mr. Passion. I'm not calling him prophet because everybody knows.
You said Mr. Passion.
Know who you are first. Know who you are. So Mr. Passion, and all he talks about is getting the bag. All he talks about is getting your bag, getting your money. So again, who are you sitting under? Who are you following?
Who are you following?
Where are you getting your substance from? Where are you getting the meat from?
Sierra just said watch the entire thing because it was out of context. She said go and watch the entire thing because I guess at the middle I saw a lot of it after he began to talk. I couldn't watch the whole thing because what I saw, and I see what you're saying, Sierra. She said he stated fornication is a sin. But he used sex before marriage is not a sin. How they say fornication, Sierra, they say that fornication is sexual, they say that fornication is like a sexual sin, but it's not the fornication before marriage. It's when you whore them. And so that's what him and Larry Reed
redefine the word.
They redefine the word, Sierra. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Let me tell you what Holy Spirit showed me just now.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here is they're building what you call, when you go into court, and you build, if you can disarm one thing, then you can take everything off. So recently when they were fighting for Roe versus Wade, if they can get one premise dismissed, then you can take the whole thing off. What he's doing is he's been reworking the word fornication, And Lovy is not the first person that did it.
He's not.
An agenda. It's an agenda. Is, for instance, when the gay community came out and they said that, you know, you don't choose to be gay. You were born with this overwhelming feeling. Then the next thing that they were building up with is it's unfair and it's lack of humanity to have children struggle. You should be able to, if you love your children, you should let your children be who they are. Then they came with, if they are who they are, then don't let them choose whether they're male or female. Just remove it completely. Then they came with anybody.
It's levels, it's steps.
So it's layers to it. Because if I know, it's like slavery. If I say that you're not really human and I dehumanized you, then when I'm beating you, when I'm punishing you, when I'm selling you, I'm not evil because you're not really human. If I say that fornication is not a sin, or if I say that fornication is worshiping idols and it's not sex before marriage, then I can say, stop worshiping idols, but you can have sex before marriage. However, if you have control. And I want to say this, something that God showed me. The 10 Commandments was not a prison and it was not a box. The 10 Commandments is a protection.
It's a protection. Come on, Natalie.
There is something that happened outside of covenant. If I go into sexual relationship outside of covenant, I open up myself to be under attack.
Yeah.
Remove marriage. I'm talking about just sex outside of the covenant of marriage. The person is not married, I'm not married. We're just two single persons. We now have no covenant protecting us. Without a covenant protecting us, that means that I can be attacked. His generational lineage, my generational lineage, or altars that are fighting us can fight each other. And now, instead of building each other up, we're fighting things that we had no business.
We had no business.
Married, you come under attack because when you join together,
it's a union. The enemy hates union. And so, and that's another thing. If you really want to go there, I'm glad you went there, Natalie. Not only we opening ourselves for attacks, but what we're doing is we're opening ourselves to so many other demonic entities that can come in and rule us. I remember when I say, when you open yourself up to fornication, right? Sex before marriage, right? And when you're not in a covenant with God, that you married on your own accord. That's another thing too, because some folks like, well, I'm married, you know. Anyway, so the thing is, when you opening yourself up to that person, I wanted to go there, but I'm not. But when you open yourself up to a person, you tend to carry whatever's on that person. Okay? I remember I was never into pornography. Okay? Oh, just in case they zap us. And I opened myself up to a man that's all he was interested in. Do you not know that spirit that was on him was on me? So now I'm carrying that spirit of pornography, if you get what I'm saying. But I was never interested in that. Let's take it even further. He was a whoremonger. He slept around with many, many other women. I had put myself in a contract and a covenant with this man. So what happened was I began to be literally stricken with every demonic thing from not only him, but the women that he was sleeping with. That's what you call soul ties. So when I married my husband, oh my God, I had to get delivered, because what happened was I had all this sexual immorality that I have not yet been delivered from, and I'm taking that to our bedroom. God said, you got to get delivered. That's why you don't fornicate outside of marriage. That's why you don't commit these different type of sins, because you're opening yourself up to these different demonic entities, these portals. You opening the door and you yourself punishing yourself. You can't blame it on the devil. And so this is one thing that, Nelly, even when you said that, this is one thing that people in the church struggle with so tough is fornication, is lust, and changing that's why he say the doctrine of devils. They literally, there is different realms of them changing the laws, changing their perspective, and changing the word of God. Just like they say, well, there's not such thing as going to hell. Like, this is what people is saying out here. Like, this is what they're saying. And the Bible talks about it all throughout. And so go ahead, y'all, on this, because we're going to go to this next one once y'all get done. This next one, y'all hold on to your seats for this one.
I just want to say something really quick. For somebody who's watching and wondering, why are they talking on these topics? It's important because you're thinking about the next generation of people that's coming behind us, or even our age group that are beginning to follow Christ. If they don't know what doctrine is and we don't talk about it, they will go and fall into sin without knowing that it's sin because nobody told them.
Nobody talking about it.
Imagine, oh my God, why does this feel like I was here already? I'm sorry, I just had
the Lord showed you that, yeah.
So, just imagine you show up and the rapture happens and you don't get raptured and you didn't know that you was in sin. You were living in sin. I can't tell you, I was baptized for years and I was living fully in sin, right? I read my Bible. I
keep
studied,
it real.
I fasted, and I was operating in the spirit of fornication before I got married, then after I got a divorce, right? And what's funny is one of the reasons I got married was I was never delivered from that spirit. So when I went through what I was going through with my mother's death, I was so broken when that spirit came, it was so easy. And the next conversation we're going to see with that same young woman. And what happens is, people think, it's just sex, right? But I want you to know that you legitimately could be soul tying yourself to somebody who you're not even supposed to even be with them. You're not even supposed to even be with them. The person that you marry determines the speed and the trajectory of your life. Are you willing? And we're going to see this young lady next. Are you willing? Because because you get a ring from somebody, because somebody made you a wife. Are you willing to give up your journey with God? Like, and to be honest, Brandy, if this conversation that happened a few years ago, I wouldn't be able to relate. But until you've been in a path where you start losing everything, and you lose your mind, and you see what you could lose, your soul, and you know the difference to have your soul prosper, and for you to prosper in other ways, you'll realize.
Natalie, come on.
No amount of car. There's something about coming into joy. When God took me out of that marriage that I got myself into, that was never my husband. That's why God don't even have me saying a lot of times that I have a divorce, because he said that was never even your husband. That was never a covenant. I never covenant over that marriage. That's why I hesitate to wait on God for him to show me, like, is this who I'm supposed to be?
Is this who I'm supposed to be with?
But when you start having sex outside of marriage, you cannot hear sometimes.
You can't hear. You become deaf in the spirit.
With your spirit, man.
Listen. Woo, y'all something else. Torree, you good over there? Torree
doing research.
Torree. Her computer's stopping. Okay, Torree, we going with the next video. I think her computer's stopping, y'all. Something going on. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on, guys. This next one, hold on. Let me see. They are clowning in this chat. Tay Janae said, I wish someone spoke to me like this in my youth. You ain't never lied. Let me tell you, I experienced so much turmoil. So much. Even though now God can get the glory, and it made me wiser, and my perspective is different, and I matured in such a way where I'm able to minister to others about the flaws. But I wish I had one of me that could tell me about what I'm doing in the wrong path and why it's the wrong path, and have biblical context to it too, because that really helps. And then also can tell me their testimony on why it's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible says, how should they overcome? By the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony, right? So it's Jesus, but it's our testimony that help people to bring them out. We can't be acting like we ain't never did nothing. You ain't more. You not married. Okay, you're not a nun. You did stuff. Okay, keep it real and help a sister out. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna go ahead to this next one. Datavia said, I think we should be with someone sometimes based on the way they make us. Oh, she said they sometimes do this, be with someone from the basis of how they make us feel. Some people just come at the right time, wolves in sheep clothing. Yes. And God never meant for you to be with that person. That's right, Datavia. And so, all right, we finna go to this next clip. Cause I really, this is gonna end it. It's the end all be all with this clip, okay, y'all? So y'all ready for this one? We was like, whoa on this one, okay? We was whoa. And so hold on to your seat. I thought that was something. But this a 3-minute clip. I was gonna break it up in threes. But I'm gonna make it a 3-minute clip, and if we got to go back to it, we can also go back to individual ones. But let's play this. This is Danaia Jackson. Say that again, Nita, because I mess up people's names.
Danaia Jackson.
Okay, this is Danaia Jackson, and she was married basically to a narcissist. And for a while, and they had 3 kids together, but he have slept with over 100 women on his wife, and he came out as relationship coach. And so this thing is deep. So let me go ahead and play this clip.
Couple.
But we ended up falling out before then. And so while the plans were still on to move, I had already transferred jobs. You know, he already had whatever he had going on. And so made the move. My mom came down and she helped me drive down to Atlanta. I had my own little space. Anyway, we were still engaging sexually, even though we were off, right? And so it was in this time where there was a lineup of us. We was passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't. No, y'all was not passing
You think this is a game.
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all was.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So, you know, I was a willing participant in that. And this is, like, I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad, you know, to, like, what space do you have to be in to accept that? And so I dealt with it already, so I could laugh about it now. And it's funny,
that's what healing looks like. Healing,
right?
you look back at your old self and laugh.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, seriously. It was, you know, I'm coming over at this time. I know such and such is going to be rolling through about, you know, an hour and a half later. Yeah. And sometimes we went a little bit longer. So literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door. All right, have fun, you know, your shift. You know, and literally. And so there was a lot of people involved at that time. We weren't in a relationship. So all the people that like committed relationships. So I was just on the rotation at the time, and I ended up getting pregnant with our first child.
You said you knew another woman's body better than you knew your own.
Yes, several women. I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. And I spent a lot of time, like I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying these women. I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages and like what they wear. I knew when they had met up. So after that, we went on our honeymoon. That was great. Even at the honeymoon, it was like he was on his phone a lot. And so, you know, I felt some type of way about that, but I like, you know, whatever, you know, he has to work because, you know, look at the life I'm living, you know, like I got caught up in like, oh, I never experienced anything like this before.
Explain what that, because people don't understand what you mean by that life. What life are you living?
Okay, so there is a life of glam and riches and fame. Like when you have some status, it comes with stuff. Mm-hmm. It comes with access to stuff. It comes with like this extra treatment. It comes with money. You know, I had not experienced any type of level of that. And I'm like, I've been all them Disney movies paying off. I'm living the life of the rich and famous. Look at him. He's fine and he's doing this, and I get to stay at home. And like I was a whole Atlanta housewife without being on the show, right? Whole out here, and so
Whole Atlanta housewife.
Whole Atlanta housewife.
With no show.
No show.
Well, I was really taken back by this one. And honestly, I teared up as I was watching it. And I kind of had this conversation with the ladies through via text. And we talked about this. Torree, you back. I see you now. I don't know why. Torree, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but it's just breaking up really bad over here.
Okay. We can hear you it's fine. Long as you can talk, we just carry along. It's all right, sis.
Okay.
But we can hear you good. And so I was taken back by this, and I think all of us in a way, it triggered us, to watch that. You know what I'm saying? And the things that happen. If you guys don't know the story, they call her the bonnet because when all this stuff blew up and a blogger exposed it, he got on. She said she wasn't forced to come on to talk about it, but he told her that they should talk about it, and she got on there. She was just, at this point, she'd been through so much in her marriage where she was actually pregnant, and they just had a funeral and all this stuff was going on, and then boom, this hit, and she was in the media, and she never was the type that ever wanted to be in the media. And so she said when that happened, it forced her to have to talk about it, and she had a bonnet on, and it was a big talk about what is going on with this girl. And so now we get more context to what happened at that time. And so it was sad, the whole interview. You heard what she said. It was like I was cringing. And then I didn't like that he laughed too much. I don't know about y'all. I'm like, what's funny? Laugh one more time. At least let her laugh first and then you laugh. But some of that I didn't find funny. It was actually hurtful, what she experienced. And so I'm gonna start with you, Nita, and kind of talk about this, because that was one thing when me and you text separately. You was like, listen, this is a lot, and we kind of talked about it, and I knew this would be a subject that all four of you guys can kind of talk about. And then what's funny, Natalie even said we should talk about this, and I said, I was just sending y'all the clips, so we all was like, let's talk about this. And so ladies, if you're out there, listen, we're gonna deal with this. I know a lot of y'all probably experienced it, probably not to this full degree what she experienced, but dealt with this type of issue with cheating, manipulation, men with narcissistic behaviors and things of that nature. This was one of those things where if you watch the full episodes, they had 2 series, it would be very, very hurtful and painful to watch. So go ahead, Nita.
Oh wow. This was deep for me. When Brandy and I talked on the phone, I was kind of like, I don't even know if I can even like do this segment or even want to talk about it or address it. So I definitely had to like go pray about it, because a lot of the things that she was saying I could definitely relate to. It was definitely knocking on my door, and it was just insane and crazy. But then again, it's not, because it's so many women out there that have to deal with this and experience this and have nobody to talk to, and it's embarrassing, and you don't know what to say, and you don't have anybody to say these things too. And as Brandy said, I was a little aggravated and annoyed with the laughter too, because
Girl, and look, Tay just said that too. Tay Janae, because it's two Tays on her. Tay Janae said the same thing. She said, I was wondering why he was laughing too. Like, dude, it's not funny. You know, like, I didn't like that interviewer. Like, I didn't. But go ahead, Nita.
Yeah, I mean, if she's gonna laugh through her pain, then that's something different, you know. And we had the chat, and I'm kind of like, where was a friend? Where was a cousin? Where was somebody for her? Later on, she did talk about her mom and how they never got along and anything else. But I think even then, if her mom probably did try to say something, when you're in that moment, you're in that moment, and all you can see is straight. You can't see to the left. You can't see to the right, because you want that to work. You want this thing to be what you have Disney World it to be. It's all a fantasy.
Disney World.
It's make believe, and so you live in Disney World for those years and for those moments, and one day you're hoping I'm gonna leave Disney World and I'm going to go to reality.
Exactly.
For me, it was very heartbreaking. Things that she said was cringing. For me, I had to stop it a couple of times because I teared up. I had to stop it because it triggered things for me. And things that I personally had to deal with,
Yeah.
And so, for you to sit there and have to deal with that for years, and my God, when she said, she talked about them being pregnant and their first baby, but she mentioned was their first living baby because she had several of abortions before that. So kind of that was like, okay, that's red flag, red flag. So kind of this was your way out because there was no kids involved at the moment. It was just you and him. And so it's kind of like run, but again, it's insecurity, it's rejection, and nobody wants to be rejected. So, she talked about, I think another point for me that just was like, my gut just like, oh, like just picturing yourself to be with these other women.
Oh my gosh.
Studying all these other
When she
women.
said that she studied the women, my heart dropped.
Because you're really wanting to be something that you're not, and so now you're dealing with identity crisis because now you don't even know yourself, and it's if he likes red cake, I like red cake. If he likes Eddie V's, I like Eddie V's. And the whole time, like, I really want to go over here to Popeyes to see if that tastes good and if I like it. But
she even said, Nita, that when she would mention it, and that's another narcissistic behavior, when she would mention like something, how she feel, it blew up and he would get angry. So she kind of just held it in and kind of basically was in depravity. Like she just did not open up. She was shut down because it would start an argument, and that's what would happen.
He tormented her. He played a lot of mind games, and I've been there. When you address a situation and it's a mind game played back to you, and you're insecure, or those really your friends, they said that to you. If they said that to you, they jealous of you. It's a very much of a mind game, and that's very that's top of the line, narcissist.
That's top of the line.
Man, just her testimony, but I'm so glad that she spoke out. I'm so glad that we are talking about it, because I was like, y'all can have that. Like, I don't know if I really want to, touch on that.
It bother you, yeah.
It's my truth, and I'm gonna say it because somebody else out there needs to hear that there's a lot of Danaia Jacksons out there. She's not by herself.
It's a
She's not
lot.
by herself. But for her to come to the front of the line and just put it out there,
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to her. And a lot of people
Yeah.
can, well, you just you brought that upon yourself, and
Yeah.
you could have left, and what took you so long, and why did you deal with this, and why did you deal with that? You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people would say, I wouldn't deal with that.
I wouldn't deal with that, but you don't know until you in it.
You did, and what
Sierra just said something that it was mental illness, low self-esteem, and said he cared nothing for her. The foundation of relationship was to use her, basically. She worked the back end of his business, so he saw that. And so that's how they proud, right? And that's what he did. He used her, and she worked the back end. She built his business to where it's at. You know what I'm saying? She dealt with the employees. She did everything. And so he definitely used her. Torree, I want you to go ahead and talk because I know your computer was messing up. I wanted you to talk before.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Oh, yeah, and I can see you.
Okay, so I wanted to share a couple of things with this. I've been through some of what she's gone through. I won't say to every extent of what she's been through, but definitely she was very insecure. And what women fail to realize is men can see their insecurities. Men can see exactly where you are, okay? And women fail to realize that because you can have some needy women that are dealing with daddy issues, women that are insecure, they're dealing with all kind of different things. So they will cling to what seems like it loves them. They will cling to what seems like it can protect them, make them feel good. And what happened is he's seen her as insecure and as she needed him. Like he felt her vibe, if I can say that. He felt that her low point. He knew that she was low. He knew that what Sierra said here is that he could manipulate her to do what he needed her to do, and she would be at his beck and call because he has this look about him, and she was so like mesmerized by who he was, by his look, by his physique, by his charm. And that's all she was looking at. And see, what women fail to realize is that is planted across your forehead. When a man meets you, he know exactly pretty much where you are. He know if he can get over on you. He know the words to say to you and all of that. And so she was low in spirit. And so what happened is women fail to realize is when you have not come into the place of who God has created you to be. So you may be at a place, at a low place, and you don't know where God is taking you, right? Because you got to go through some stuff to get where God is taking you. So in your low place, you are selecting a man that is where you are. So she selected a man to where her self-esteem was. She was low. She dealt with all these issues with her daddy, with her mama, just didn't think she didn't look beautiful. She said she had bumps on her face. She said that her hair was all over the place. She felt low. And because she felt low, she selected a man that was low too.
That was low too.
Down and dirty. That is what she selected for herself. And see, we fail to realize that when we pick what our spirit is. We have to let the Lord select for us. Because see, we can pick a man and we don't know where the Lord is taking us, and we pick a man for our now. Come on here. But God said, daughter, no, I'm taking you here. I'm taking you higher. Let me perfect you. Let me work on you. Let me sharpen you. But you want right now. And right now is little Jimmy. Right now is
Little Bobo and Boo Boo.
Right now is the dude on the street on the corner. Right now is the dude that stay in the club that tipping top out. Right now is the dude that's sleeping with a whole bunch of women. But that's what you want right now because that's where you at.
That's where you
want
at.
That love that you missed from your daddy. You want that love and that when you was rejected from your mama. See, he's giving it to you because he know that's what you need. But that's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's how women, we began to select. I've been there. Listen, I've been there.
That's how we select men that are not good for us. It's the grace of God while I am still
Oh
alive
my
today.
goodness. Come on.
Because baby, I selected wrong in my life. It was the blood that was covering me.
Come on
So when
now.
I say it is the blood that was covering her from not losing her mind.
Not losing her
Because she
mind.
even went to the fact where she said that she was studying women. She was studying, which means that she was, what you call it, stalking women's sites. She was stalking, looking at them, how they move their body. I don't want to move my body. But see, that's a point where you alone.
You are low.
You want to be somebody else because she didn't know who she was. She didn't know what God had placed inside of her. Because see, nobody never helped pull it out. The daddies are supposed to affirm.
Mother's nurture.
And mother's nurture.
The mother's nurture, but the daddies come to affirm their children. And she didn't have that. She didn't have that affirmation from her dad. She didn't say, baby, you beautiful. You look good. You can do it. She didn't have all of that. And so she was looking for that in the men. And so she looked for that in him because I'm sure he stroked her ego. I'm sure he made her feel good. I'm sure he told her she was beautiful. And that is what she was looking for. And so out of all of that, he was narcissistic, he was controlling, he was making her feel bad. She felt like she didn't want to say anything because I done been in that, honey, where I had to tiptoe in a house, honey. I have lived that life where I had to walk on eggshells. That was me. See, that was me, pastor in the church, walking on eggshells in my house. So she felt like she couldn't say nothing because she didn't want him to get mad.
Yeah, she didn't want
She
to
felt
leave.
like she couldn't. Now she had a husband, she had this, and see, that's what happens. And so I just thank God that he was able to free her.
My God.
And like she said, the young lady said in the red, there are so many women out here that is dealing with this, and they feel like they have to stay in this, but you don't have to stay in this.
Yes.
They don't see themselves coming out of this. They don't see how can they come out of this. They don't know how to. Where is the light? I can't find the light. They can't see the light. They're comfortable in this cycle. It's a cycle.
My God.
That they put themselves in. It's a cycle because when they get out of one relationship, sometimes they go right
They jump in another one.
It's a cycle.
It's
a cycle. And so what it boils down to is women have to be healed. Men too. But we're talking about her, where women have to want to be healed. We can say you need to be healed, daughter, beautiful queen. You need to be healed. You need to be healed. But they have to want it because
they have
will not happen until they want it.
That's good. I'm telling
you. They have to say enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. My God, Torree. Natalie, come on.
Okay, so I gotta that's a general perspective. I have a different perspective because I've coached women of all backgrounds. Women with mother and with father.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that it's not just the women without fathers in the home. I've had clients who've had fathers in the home who had a great relationship with father, and they still ended up very broken women who literally could have caught disease from men who upright said that they were doing stuff with other people, ended up getting other people pregnant. So I want to know that this thing is not just, because I remember when I was going through it, because I, like Torree said and Juanita said, I went through a similar situation, right? Probably 100 is a low number for my ex, okay? But I went through a similar situation, and I remember at times I would, like Juanita said, like, how did I get here?
How did you get here?
Double and triple major. I was working on Wall Street. I mean, the head of what is now the head of BlackRock, who was at the time the head of private equity at Credit Suisse, was dating me. I dated a prince. How did I end up with this dude, right? You don't even qualify to be in a room with me. Looking at
Come on now.
No, I'm serious. I'm not
Come
playing.
on. No, that's real.
I'm serious. I'm not even playing.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you this. We have to realize that a point of trauma happened.
Yes.
A point of trauma happened. And after coaching for almost 10 years, I can tell you that there's a rhythm of trauma that happened. For some people, the trauma was not having a parent in the home, but for some, they had parents in the home who were loving, nurturing, did all the things, but a point of trauma happened that caused them to lose their self-identity. And what God has told me is that this lack of this identity crisis is rampant in the church. It is not just with people from single parent home or broken homes. It's even to the point of people whose parents are Christian. We look at the Bishop Jakes, Sarita Jakes. It happened with their daughter. Right?
Yeah.
She grew up in multiple abuse marriage. She didn't come up in an abusive household. She saw a lot of things, but it wasn't her father abusing her mother. They had their personalities, but that wasn't what she saw. And yet she ended up in 2 abusive marriages before she got married now. So after a while, I've noticed that there is a point of trauma. A point of trauma happened. And the point of trauma is the entryway for the enemy to now use that. Identity crisis.
Come on.
The next thing I want to say to a person who may be going through this, or so you avoid this, because I would not wish this on my enemy, is for me, my mother, I'd gone through many traumas. But this point of trauma that I met my ex was my mother had just died in such a way, it was so extremely traumatic. I was going to school, I was functioning like normal, but I was having a complete breakdown, but I was functioning like I was normal.
Functioning like you was normal.
She said she was at a party with her friends and her siblings. And at the party, a friend that she knew that she was not worried about raped her. Her point of trauma happened 3 weeks before she met him. So it wasn't just the lack of affirmation. She had a point of trauma. The enemy, their demons call onto demons, not just deep onto deep.
Demons call onto demons.
Every spirit of Amen needs a spirit of Jezebel. In psychology, we call it the crazy age. Somebody who deals with depression attracts someone who sends them into the spiral of depression. My depression and anxiety, if I hold it as a spirit, needs someone to feed it. And sometimes what you see is they do like this. We call it the crazy age. When you're up, I'm down. When I get tired of being down, then I get aggressive, and then you become down. When you get tired, you just flip around. So if I was to sit with him, he also has a point of trauma.
Come on.
I'm getting from him too is that he has experienced some level of sexual trauma as a child.
Absolutely.
He's living out his sexual trauma, and he's projected it. The next thing I would recommend for persons who are watching this, there's a book called The Nice Guy. No More Mr. Nice Guy. And it's not, this guy is not Christian, but he gives a psychological background. And there's more that you can add to it. But in this book, he admits to the fact that most of these men, they have been emasculated. And so they come in 2 forms. They come in 2 forms. Most of us, when we see narcissists, we see this aggressive guy who have this grandiose thing.
That's not always true.
Sometimes it's a very nice guy.
It's a very nice guy.
Very nice guy who does not have a grandiose expression of himself all the time. In fact, I'm going to put this forward to you guys. She is also a narcissist. Why? Her grandiose expression of herself is she's built this thing in herself where I'm a victim. And every victim needs somebody to victimize them. In fact, if you listen to us when we are not healed, the way we tell our story is, I'm always the victim. I'm always the victim. Look how they victimized me. Look how they victimized me. You go on the job, you were victimized. You went to church, you were victimized. And so until you're delivered, you literally attract people.
You attract people.
And so it's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's this. And yes, I'm not saying he didn't victimize her. I'm not saying he didn't abuse her. But as she said in her deliverance, she's recognizing she was a willing participant. Because
she said it. She admitted it. She admitted it.
There was something in her that tells me that she's on a path of healing. Because there was something in her that intentionally woke up every single day and said, I choose this brokenness.
Yeah.
I choose for, I will give you a story. You will become so small in your own eye, right? They talk about when you don't know who you are, you won't even have to, nobody have to send you to the back of the bus. You will choose.
You choose to go to the back of the bus.
You will be so small.
Nat, come on.
I remember there was a time I was married and it was my anniversary. And I remember that my ex had been in the newspaper with another woman as a significant other. That was the title. In fact, it's documented on the internet. It can never be removed. It was in a newspaper article, the main newspaper article of our country. His cheating was documented, right? It was on a yacht having a good old time. And this was on a Sunday. This is the family day. This is the day. Anyways, so here it was my anniversary. And I remember I was so small because in the church, we talk about God hate divorce. We talk about, you got to fight for your marriage. You got to fast. You got to pray. But nobody teaches you that in the middle of counseling, that this does not go to a marriage. This is not a marriage. This is not God. This man needs deliverance. This woman needs deliverance. And if you don't get deliverance, you are going to kill each other.
You're going to kill each other, yeah.
Maybe not physically kill each other, but you're going to kill each other's purpose. You're going to kill each other's soul, right? And what I will tell you too is sometimes the parents of these people are evil and they don't even know it. Why? Because they're not delivered.
They're not delivered. Come on, Nat.
His mother knows what he's doing. And she's having this conversation with this girl, knowing, and she's saying, I don't want to have another abortion. I don't want to continue. She is in a covenant with the spirit of Moloch. She's in a covenant with Moloch because she has 3 babies. And she's saying, I don't want to kill one more baby.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. But you know.
Lead to a baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I want you to know that I don't want us to see him as an evil and she is good and vice versa. I want us to see that we're under attack.
Yeah.
The church is under attack, or men are under attack, or women are under attack. And if we can teach our daughters, women guard their heart.
Come on.
Word of discernment.
Guard your heart.
Teaching women to race down a ring. I'm teaching women because as much as God says the year of the bride, he has a lot of prophecy, but this may not be the year of the bride for everybody. It may not be the year of the bride for everybody.
Natalie, come on. But see, let me say this. Let me insert what you said. This whole captivated view of marriage is sickening. Let me tell you something. Marriage is one of the hardest relationships. A friendship, a partnership, all of that do not compare to a marriage. A sonship, a daughtership, a relationship. This is one of the hardest ships, okay, to keep aboard, okay? You have to work. You have to work and you have to work. But the church and the world make it lavish. Get you a husband, get you a man, the first one in sight that tell you good things, that must be your husband. The devil is a liar. I had lost a friend because she felt that she had the Cinderella type of relationship, the big picket fence, the nice car that he bought her, and all the extravagant things. This must be my husband. You heard her say this, Natalie and ladies, that she felt like she was Atlanta housewife. She had it all. Being with him came with benefits. I'm sorry to say that's most people, even in the church. If it's beneficial, if it looks good, if we look the part, if you sit on that front row, the first ladies that they call them, sit on the front row and make me happy and build my ministry, you are it. Well, I'm sorry to tell you that it's only going to end badly when you feel like it comes with benefits to be a part of that marriage, Or I'm choosing her, men too, I'm choosing her because she looked the part and she can help me in the back end. It only leads to destruction. And so when you just said that, I just want to insert that, Natalie, that people are just getting married and year of the bride. You better make sure that's your husband. My friend that I'm telling you about that had it was the life. It ended wrong. I had to go to her funeral. And the husband did it. The husband did it. Her Superman. Her Superman. That's what, he the one that did it. And so we have to be very careful and not allowing God to select our mate, and we select our mate. So go ahead now. I had to insert that. Yeah, Sierra, deception is a beast. Tay said, OMG. Yes, Tay, Janae. She said, that's why marriage freaks me out. Don't think marriage, don't say that, Tay, Janae. God got something for you, baby. Let me say this about you, Tay, Janae. Whoever, I gotta park this and then go ahead. I'm passing to you, Torree. I'm gonna say this to you, Tay, Janae. God has a prince. I'm telling you. And when I say prince, I'm talking about the character, his uprightness with God, that loves God, that's going to treat you like as if. Let me tell you, you're going to be the apple of his eye. There's no other woman that can serve him in marriage like you can. And let me say this, because of who you are, there no idiot can come in that inbox, DM you, or be, let me tell you something. You have to be so picky. See, God, it's okay to be picky. Not silly, but picky. You get what I'm saying? I ain't saying this long list. I'm saying that anybody to come to you and say that God said, or anybody can come to you, and if they don't know God, that's a deal breaker. You have to love God with your whole heart, mind, and soul. And then the second thing is they allow you to shine because you're all that in the bag of chips with a doctorate. Not just because you have the credentials, it's because of who you are, your heart. You have a beautiful heart. You have a serving heart. You have a humble heart that you can't just be with anybody. And because you humble, some men like that and like, let me snatch her up to try to enslave you. No, buddy. You better back off. And let me tell you, God's going to give you someone that's when I say he off the chain, I just see him in the spirit right now. He's so off the chain for you. Let me tell you, when y'all gather, it'll just be right. It's that minus and that plus that really make that mate. That's how it's going to be. He's not going to be nothing like you, but he's going to be a lot like you in the spirit. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what magnetizes y'all, because y'all going to be so different that when y'all come together, baby, it's like boom. God got that special one for you, and you got to be, I'm going to say this, be picky. Be picky. I'm not saying where you miss your blessing, right? I'm saying be picky, whereas when my husband came to me, I said, oh, you got to go back and pray. That's how picky I was. I said, go back and pray, make sure that's God. And he fasted for 3 days, and I asked God what my husband was going to say, and he said exactly what God told me he was going to say. So I say that to say I was picky because I didn't have time to be playing no games. 9 men before my husband said I was their wife, and someone was drug dealers. Boy, bye, do you even talk to God? Okay? Do you even hear him? And so that's when I say be picky. Now anybody can come to you and say that you are their wife. So I keep going with that one. But go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, Torree.
I just want to piggyback off of what Natalie said. There is an entry point. If I could just tell you a little bit, as I was born in a family, my mother and father, my father was a pastor, my mother was an evangelist, both parents in the household. I still lacked because, you know what, I was molested when I was a child.
Come on. It opened
when
that
I
door
got
to
older, that was the entryway. And when I got older, I selected men because of the fact I wanted to feel that love that I felt like I really didn't receive, And so there is an entryway. And I can always say also to that is that I wasn't married once, not twice, but this is my 3rd marriage.
Talk about it.
And this
the last one.
Is from God.
And the last.
I went through hell.
Come on.
Hear me. And the Lord had to tell me, even in my 2nd marriage, he told me,
I didn't tell you to do that. And when I was trying to get out of it, he said, you have to go through, I had to walk through the wilderness. He said, you're going through a wilderness experience.
Torree,
And
come
he
on.
didn't allow me to leave. I couldn't leave that marriage until he allowed me to leave.
Ooh.
And so I had to go through a wilderness experience because I said yes to what God did not say yes to. I chose and selected something that was not approved by God. So I thought because I was ready to be married, I love marriage, so I wanted to be married. I wanted to have someone. That's what I wanted that because, I wanted a companion. Again, this is what I wanted. And so I selected somebody that was not for me. Yeah. And I went through a wilderness experience. And I walked on eggshells in my own home. And see, this is why I tried to tell. So everything that Natalie was saying was so accurate. And I try to talk to young ladies and tell them, I know that you're ready to be married. I know. But like you said, Brandy, marriage is work. It's not you getting married, y'all gonna have sex and gonna have fun and boo, 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 boo. See, that's what everybody think because see, they ain't having sex right now, so they want to get married and have sex.
Come on.
And they think that that's what it is, but baby, there is a relationship, there is financial stuff, there is communication, there is two families coming together. He did things this way, you was raised to do things this way, now y'all gotta find y'all way.
Come on.
It's a lot of stuff in there and people don't realize that. And so when you are single is the best time for you to give your total all self to God.
To Jesus. Come on, that's it.
That's
it.
That's the time where you just sell out to
that's
him
it.
because when you get married, you have responsibility. He is your first, but you have responsibilities because marriage is ministry.
Come on. It's ministry. And I think people don't get that part. And let me just say this, because my husband out here, I love my husband, baby. Let me tell you something. I'm so glad that he chose me, okay? The Bible says he who finds his wife, baby, he was finding me. He was looking for me. He was like, where you at? Okay? And so with that being said, I'm so happy that I said yes to God, right? But let me tell you, it takes work. We have to compromise. The Bible says submit you one another. They always say, wives, submit to your husband. Yes, that's true. It say, wives, submit to your own husbands. That is totally true. But also the Bible says submit you one to another. And so we compromise in a lot of things because we are so different. But it's something about when we link up and we partner, we be on one accord. My husband is my best friend. I can talk about anything. He don't shut my mouth. He don't tell me I can't talk. He can't tell me I can't make decisions. He don't neglect me. He pushes me. He pushed me even higher to even think higher. And he don't, when we together, even though I'm doing something in business or how I am, he don't look at that as oh, I'm trying to be better than him or anything like that. This man have a degree, high education, but he never looked down on me. And vice versa, because I'm a businesswoman, he never tried to steal the shine or make me lesser of. That's what type of man and woman you want to yoke with. I also serve my husband. I love serving him. I don't play about him. To ask Nita, I don't play about him. Okay? And he don't play about me. But that's what make it special. It's a yoking. Make sure you're not unequally yoked. You have to be on one accord and yoked. And because the type of woman I am a strong woman. And when I say a strong woman, I ain't saying what they be saying like all black women are strong. No, I ain't saying like that. I'm saying in the things that I do and have and where I came from and what I was subjected to. And so therefore it makes me a little bit more like different. Okay. And so it takes a special man to handle me, you know, and my husband can. Okay. And so because of that, God chose a perfect man where he's not intimidated by who I am and by my shine. He pushes me to be better. He pushes me to do business. He pushes me to go out there and preach and teach or, you know, anything that I do, he pushes me. And that's what I love the most about an ordained marriage, because God is not going to give you anyone where they can't understand who you are in the spirit. And they don't know how to lift you up and push you even to greater things, okay? They should not be putting you down. They should be lifting you up. you know? And so that's why we're yoked and it feels good. And so let me say this too. I was looking this up as well. Everything that y'all was saying was so good. One thing that I see in a lot of women, and I'm dealing with women, not the men right now, that women don't want to be alone, and a lot of insecurities would be enough for people just stay in a marriage or get married. And that's dangerous. Also, financially stable. When she mentioned that about how he was, some people get married or stay in marriage because of the financial stability that that mate has. And let me remind you, she was sticking in that marriage, but if you look at it, she's highly educated. That girl bad. When you look at the interview, she's very smart, she's very bright and intelligent, but she was with a man that literally crushed that, where she was serving so many different type of insecurities within herself, where she at a point where she didn't even know who she was. That's what can happen when you're not in a marriage ordained by God. Another thing is she was already emotionally, physically, financially already invested in this man, so she felt like she could not leave. And because she had children, that's another thing, and the soul ties that came with that, all right, with being with him and all the other women that he was with. Emotional abuse and narcissistic abuse, it typically involves emotional abuse where there's put downs, accusations, criticism, and threats. And I just want you guys to understand, when there is a such thing as narcissistic abuse symptoms. Okay, and so I just want to make sure, if you out there and you're dealing with this, that we want to speak to you out there to make sure you know what you're dealing with while you're in it, and get out as soon as possible, or get help. You know, get them help. Okay, if God told you to stay there, get some help then. If you say that God, you better get some help. And one of the things, the symptoms includes where your thoughts is not unwanted. You know what I'm saying? They avoid you. You feel even lonely and isolated in the marriage. You feel you also go through things where you're triggered by certain things because they trigger by certain things, so they put that on you. The victims, usually victims of this, they know that they're being gaslighted. You know you're being gaslighted, but you don't even understand, like, how is this so? People that are narcissists, that gaslight you, so they intentionally act of making you distrust your views, where your view, like, you be like, oh, maybe I didn't think that way. They can confuse your mind and control your mind by your thoughts. Also, they make you believe that you're mentally unstable, and they use specific targeted phrases to make you feel this way. They would do things as if you no longer feel like the person you used to be. You feel like everything you do is wrong. This is how you're feeling when you're being gaslighted by them. You always think it's your fault when things go wrong. You feel more anxious and less confident. You often wonder if you're being too sensitive. You often question whether your response to your partner is appropriate, and that was her. You're apologizing more often. You the first to apologize. You have a sense that something's wrong but aren't able to identify it, and you make excuses for your partner behavior. If you're if these are some of the things that you're thinking about in the relationship you in, yes, you're dealing with narcissistic abuse and you're being gaslighted. Emotional abuse include accusing, belittling, blaming, bullying, criticizing, demanding, ordering you, raging, sarcasm. They shame you and threaten you. That is emotional abuse. In case you don't know what that is, some people think abuse is only physical. No, it's not. You can be emotionally abused, mentally abused in a relationship. And also this other term I found on this particular site, Chosen Therapy. Go look this up. And they talk about it in psychology as well. Narcissistic projection. It involves dumping their issues onto their victim instead of taking any blame. For instance, a narcissistic abuser may accuse their partner of lying when they really lied. This is sometimes referred to deny, attack, revert, victim, and offender. Or they make a partner feel guilty when they've done wrong. This creates confusion. right? And so they often confuse you. That's the manipulation part of that type of behavior. They would confuse you where you be like, maybe it's just me. You're right. Like, I'm the problem. And that's narcissistic projection. It's a whole stream of manipulation to get to that point. People like this also, they're very arrogant and with more of the superior attitude, okay? They can be very arrogant. That don't mean they boast. A lot of people, you think they say, yeah, I'm this. No, they can be very arrogant and prideful just in their demeanor and how they come off and how they put you down. Also, they make everything a competition. And that's one thing I can say about, and I'm saying this because my husband, like, for real, he's that deal. I'm not just saying this. I know I'm tooting him, baby. I'm tooting his horn. That's one thing. I never feel like I'm in competition in our marriage, right? But I know a lot of people that come to me and ask me about that, and I don't want to, be like, yeah, my husband not like that, but I have to say, like, we're not. Like, we're not in competition. We together. We on the same team. And so if you feel like you're in a marriage where it's competition, that's not good. Also, love bombing. This is one that's very important. A lot of narcissists, right? They love bomb. They demonstrate attention and affection in attempt to influence someone. So social media, they real big. Look at my wife. Yeah, we doing this. Yeah, we this, we that. You know what I'm saying? This make-believe thing. And it caused internal conflict and confusion to the narcissistic people, right? So people would think that it's glitter, really, but really it's not. It's copper, okay? That's worth nothing, the marriage. And so be careful of that love bombing, be very careful with that, because they will make it seem like, oh, this is glamorous, this is our marriage, and they love to show people how good it is, and yeah, this is it, and they on their way to divorce, okay? Or already divorced. Some people, you don't even know they divorced. Financial abuse. This includes controlling you through economic domination and draining your finances through extortion, theft, manipulation, gambling, accruing debt in your name, and everything. And that's another, and a lot of them use financial abuse to keep you down, to keep you bound. And so I just wanted to talk about that. Just throw it out there. It's so much. I'm gonna have it in the link. Choose Therapy, to go look that up. It's a very good therapy blogging spot where they really dig in deep in psychology and the behaviors of narcissism. And so go check that out. If you going through any of this, like this young lady went through it, if you a male probably going through this, I know some abusive women. Okay, I know. And so you may be going through this and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And women seem to emasculate the men. And you see that a lot now, where the women is abusive and they emasculate the men. I saw, I ain't gonna say the name, maybe we'll do a show. I saw this with another man. He was going through a divorce. He went through a divorce. He found a woman that's very Jezebel-like, and she emasculates him, and it shows on social media. They just, when you look at the video, you're like, oh my gosh, she emasculate her man. And so women does it too, okay? And so if you're going through this, listen, seek some therapy, seek help, get accountability. We was just talking about that. You need some people that you can be held accountable with. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us, like any of them, they know if they come to me, I'm going to keep it real 100, and the vice versa. We able to talk about this. People on here, I see Sierra on here, Datavia, people on here that we hold each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't finna let you out there, you my friend, you my family. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I ain't going to care. You may not talk to me for a long time, but I'm going to sleep good at night because I released that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. Like, I am that friend that I do not care. I'm not afraid of losing relationships. And then I sit up here and be looking crazy when something happened to you. Or you in an abusive relationship, I ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you the truth. And I ain't finna let none of my friends get married. Unless I'm like, I better meet them. Who are they? I need to meet them. So none of them. I just, FYI, the two people, single people on the right here, I'm just saying, you're not getting married unless I meet them. But with that,
tell them, the single people, don't ignore the red flags. If those red flags pop up, that's what they are, red flags. I
Yeah,
see
you know
them
what?
and I ignore
I
them.
want to. No, that's so important. I think what happened is sometimes, like especially somebody with like a personality like mine, people will be like, "Oh, Natalie, you got you got a wall up. You got all of these things and layers. Let it down a little bit." And it's like you cannot, like just like Torree said, you cannot ignore the red flags. I think one of the things that God took me through, not too long ago, Torree, is I was frustrated with him because I was like, God, why would you allow people to have access? If I'm your daughter, I literally was in my bed like, I didn't have a dad. You knew this. You sent me here like this, right? Never had interaction with a dad. You are the only dad I have. And you are the only dad. Why would you allow people to mishandle me? It's on you. And then he put it back on me and he said, no, I've been talking to you. And when I say this here person's sister and mama don't like you, you ignore it. When I'm showing you that there's a red flag. When I say to you that this person is, dealing with this stuff and you need to pray about it, you don't pray, you go talk to the person about it. Because again, here comes manipulation. Because as women, we can be very manipulative. Maybe if I help, if I do this, if I do that, like she was manipulated. That's why she was studying the woman's body.
Woo!
We don't want to, right?
Come
That's why
on.
she was studying the woman's body, because if she can shape shift, if she
Yes.
can shift form, then you will want only me, and you
That's
won't see
it.
nothing else. If I can make myself less of who I really am,
Woo!
then I won't offend you, then I won't take you off, then you won't. That's not realizing until deliverance happens, until you go through the process, there's nothing you can do. If there's a spirit on you or with that person, especially if, and this is something I've learned too, that God spoke to me about. When there are altars in a family that does not want marriage in that family, if that altar is not dealt with, even if you dealt with your altar in your family, if that person don't know that they're speaking against their bloodline as it pertains to marriage, and you are trying to, and God says you are to be even when God says that's your husband, that's your wife, if they don't have, that's why you got to be equally yoked in the spirit.
You got to.
If they don't have spiritual knowledge.
Yes.
My people suffer for what? A lack of
knowledge.
Knowledge. And then you start fornicating. Oh my God. Now the altar is trying to take both of y'all out because they don't realize the parent, especially if the parent went through a divorce, especially if the parent, like my mother wasn't married to nobody. My mother was somebody's helper, not even a proper side chick, right? I love my mother. I honor my mother. But in terms of the role of producing me, she wasn't even a side chick. She was his helper. He took advantage of her based on her economical position. Okay? So that is in my bloodline.
That's in your bloodline.
I had to deal with that. Right?
Come on.
And so when you meet somebody and they want to play pretend, like if you meet somebody and they don't want to go to therapy, no, we're done. If
we're
you
done.
Tell me your family have issues and you don't want to go through deliverance and you don't want to go through therapy,
that's it.
Listen, you're amazing.
It's a wrap.
Phenomenal thing.
God bless you.
Listen,
God bless you.
God bless you. I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader. I might not follow you no more because I still like you and I don't want to see you with somebody else. So let me go take myself over here. But as for me and you, I'm gonna need to
baby. Listen, deuces.
Without deliverance, it's not gonna work.
And Natalie, did you see that she said that the counseling didn't do counseling?
2 counseling sessions.
Yeah, he was over it. He was done. They never went through the full thing. And so it left, so she still married him 2 weeks prior to that. He cheated that she knew of. And that's just what she knew of. So that's when you know, like that. Somebody just said on here, Mercedes said this. Mercedes said, pay attention to the yellow flags. Red flags means you're already in danger zone. So if you see yellow, slow it down. I like that, Mercedes. I love that.
a lot of marital you cannot counsel demons.
Come on.
No.
No.
You cannot counsel demons. And that's what God took me through not too long ago, right? He was saying to me when I had that session with him, I said, "You are my father." Well, we had a father-daughter conversation. And what he said to me is, "I've shown you these things, but you are listening with your ears because you, Natalie, had itchy ears." So
Come on.
I'll come back to you and say, "This is what I saw in the realm of the spirit." And now when you tell me, "No, that's not it. That's not really what's going on." No, I'm fine. I'm going to listen because I really like you. I really care about you. I really love you. Not realizing that God is trying to help us. I want to say this, you cannot counsel demons. So it's not that this person is demonic, but when you have altars speaking against you, your father, your mother, my father, my grandmother, the grandmothers before that, if you think the demons are going to allow you to come and get married,
come on.
You think that you're just going to walk up in here and break generational curse? You think they're just going to let you, "Oh, here comes the bride"? Oh, you might skip and hop down the aisle. You might back that thing up for a couple of weeks. Until you get delivered.
All facts. You need some deliverance at the end of the day. And look, that's so good. Let me tell you. And let me say this too.
Before you go on, Brandy, if you have had, and I've had to do this too, if you have found yourself having unprotected sex, and what do I mean by that? Outside of covenant.
Yeah.
You need deliverance.
You need deliverance. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to say this like we talked about earlier, those soul ties, right? With my husband, I needed to go through deliverance. Because what happened was I was so agitated in our marriage, not just by what we was experiencing, it's because I still was tied to the previous man. So that's why the Bible tell you, first and foremost, it's better just be single, right? All right. It's great to be single because you have more time with God. you have more time in communion with God. Because when you get married, it's no longer. Just be done. But then you have more time with God if you're single. But however, when you are married, there's other earthly things that you have to be concerned with. So I just can't be going to my bed all the time talking about some shot. No, I got a husband. I got to minister to him. I have to minister to my husband. Okay. And so with that being said, in a marriage, I was so seriously, when you say to joining with someone, my God, I began to experience things that I never experienced in my life. What happened was I had to die to myself. I visibly start seeing who I really was. Because when you single, you can cover up some mess. Okay, you single. You ain't got nobody to check you. Who gonna check you, boo? You know what I'm saying? But when you get married, they see all of you. That's 365 days of the year you with a person. You sharing rooms. You're sharing the closet sometimes. You're sharing, it depends on, but you sharing, meals. You're cooked. Like this person see you every day. You cannot no longer hide. Come out from hiding. And that's what happened. I had to come out from hiding. I had to deal with reality. Okay. I had to take the wig off. No eyelash and everything. He had to see me naked. You get what I'm saying? And so he was able to point out some things, not doing it as in putting me down. It was moments where I thought that, but that was a whole nother show. Tune in to Convos with the Costellos. But however, he had to show me me. God had to show me me, but he used my husband to show me me. And then I began to see oh my gosh, I'm still bitter. That R word that I experienced at the age 14 is rising up. I don't like him to touch me in April. Because that's when I was R word, right? You understand what I'm saying? So there was certain things that that I had to be delivered. And so I'm telling you now, single people, get delivered. Because I'm telling you, you're going to be like this if not. And that's what we was. We was like this the first 5 years of our marriage and almost divorced. And so you have to get free now. Not that you gonna just be totally, I mean, it's, you gonna walk this walk, right? You know, the Bible says we like sheep given to the slaughter. We die all the day long, baby. We gonna die daily. But I'm saying before you enter into a marriage, you gotta get delivered. Like Natalie said, you can't counsel no demons. You can't. You can't counsel demons. They'll rise up, whip your tail, just like the sons of Zebedee. Boy, they thought they can just go and catch. Boy, I've been and tow you up. You can't counsel them demons.
They're not gonna let you.
They ain't. Okay. And so, listen, this was so good. This was so powerful. I would just want to give you guys. First of all, Sierra, you should have just been on the show, sis. Sierra Rivers. She said, baby, when you get married, you are torn between heaven and earth. Literally. Sierra, you torn between heaven and earth, baby. You think you just gonna sit up here and just be spiritual, or you think you just gonna sit up here and just be worldly, baby? You in for a rude awakening. Tiara is silly. You should have been on the show, sis. And so, with that being said, before we end tonight, I just want to give y'all 1 minute to, you know, the 7 last words. But I don't know. That popped up in my head. Give y'all 7 last words. But no, I just want to give y'all 1 minute to just talk to the people and speak to their hearts. Whether you want to pray or whatever you want to do, just give some encouraging words to the people on tonight, because I know we covered a lot and that was a lot, but they was on fire. I don't think nobody can leave here right now and say you did not know. For real. We went from scriptures. We was practical. Listen, you can't say you don't know. We just wasn't just spiritual. We was practical as well. And so go ahead. I'm going to start with you, Nita. Anything that you want to say?
I just want to say, if there is somebody out there, a lot was covered today, like Brandy said. I mean, find you somebody to talk to, because don't ever feel like you're by yourself or you're alone and, oh, it's just me, whoa, it's just me and I can't share that with somebody. But let me say this, find somebody that you can trust, that you can hold, that can hold you and that can handle what you have to say.
And make sure they godly. Don't take counsel from the ungodly. That's what the Bible says.
From the ungodly, and make sure they can handle what you have to say. You know, make sure they are holding that with them and not releasing it with anger and, you know, and whenever they want to. That's between you and them, you know, because everybody needs somebody to talk to. Make sure they're listening.
Yeah.
So I want to say, if you are out there, you can DM the Spoken Truth. The whole panel is very positive. And
I put all they contact in the description, baby. You got all they stuff. You can even get consultation from Natalie. You can get some juices from Torree. You can get that book from Nita. If you got a question on kids, she got you. It's going to be a fee for all of this now. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you got to reach out to any of us, though, for real, inbox us for real. Go ahead, Nita.
Even Sierra. Even if you have to.
Yes.
Sierra behind the
and Tay. The millennials in the building.
Talk to somebody and make sure that you're not blinded behind what he's saying to you and what he's doing for you. Make sure. And make sure you bring him around your family.
I want to know him.
Make sure you show somebody him. Yeah, I want to know. That's all I have to say.
I love that. Go ahead, Torree or Natalie, either one.
I can go first. Let her close out. I let her close out, Chad.
Okay.
She come with some thunder. Thunder. I just want to say first, you have to know who you are before you can date anybody. And if you are dealing with any unforgiveness or anything, that trauma from your past, any situation, any of that, you first need to seek therapy, healing, inner healing, and deliverance. That is first and foremost. Because when you have allowed yourself to be cleansed out you can allow the Lord to fill you up, and you can hear better and you can see better
Come on.
spiritually,
Come on.
which is so important because counterfeits come before the real thing. Let me tell you. And there are going to be many counterfeits, and you have to determine who is a counterfeit and who is not. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to be able to hear and see.
Come on.
And it's so important that you do that, because you don't want to go into a relationship with anybody and you got baggage, because you don't want to be comparing to what you had when you was in the world compared to what's coming to you.
Baby, speak
in
it.
the kingdom. You don't want to do that. So that's the best thing. And then once you have seek that healing and inner healing and deliverance, and gone through therapy and got yourself together, and you feel good and you know who you are, get yourself together. What is your mandate? Why did God create you? That's important, because even when your mate comes, you want to make sure that y'all are compatible, right? When I say compatible, and you may be opposites, but there's still some stuff that is so much alike.
Yes. Yes.
That's really, really important. And you want to make sure, and I'm saying all this, that they are your friend first. I truly believe that me and my husband were friends before we became, before we were engaged, start dating and claiming each other and all of that. Be friends first, because a friendship can last, but if you marry for or get involved with someone because of, the way they built, because they fine and all of this, then you will miss it, because God has prepared for you. He has everything in him that you need.
That's
everything.
right.
God made him for you. He constructed him for you. And that is so huge. Don't be quick. Just relax and let the Lord lead, and enjoy your singleness while you have it.
Yeah.
That's all. And
I
get
love
you some
that.
girlfririends.
Some girlfriends.
Gonna let me go to Mexico. See, she said I couldn't go because she said
sure
she
did.
wasn't gonna be trying to look for me in Mexico. Get you some good friends that's gonna tell you the truth. She said, "Friend, you is not going there."
I did tell her that. I did. Listen, I gotta say this one time. My brother Cedric is in the building. He's also single, and he said, "Sis, I'm gonna make sure you meet her." Absolutely, because I'm like, I'm gonna show up at the wedding. They say, anyone have something to say? I'm be like, he didn't come to us first, us to me. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, listen, definitely for real, get some people. As Torree and Nita was just saying, you need that accountability. You need some friends. Datavia was just saying, Datavia up in the chat, she should have been on here too, baby, because she was dropping all nuggets. She said, Datavia said, make sure you heal. You know what I'm saying? Before you get in a relationship, like Torree said, make sure you heal. And Sierra said, spend time with the Father. He will reveal who you truly are, a rare jewel. Amen. Natalie, go ahead, drop your knowledge, baby.
I mean, to be honest, everybody said everything. I've gone through the process of deliverance and healing and deliverance again and healing again. And what I'll tell you is, in my experience, I love the fact that Torree was so transparent about this being her third marriage.
You breaking up, sis.
This is how to be a good wife, or this is how to have a successful marriage. And I can, on the business side, say this is how you. But one of the things I've learned is one plant, one water,
but God give the increase.
You could have done all the things, follow all the book, all the rules, because before God took me out of that marriage I was in, he made me completely, because as I said, I was submissive, and then I got bitter and angry, and I started to fight back, and then he brought me all the way back down. I was cooking dinners, cleaning, and then when I'd done everything, then he said, okay, now you're free. Now, because I've given that person, even though that wasn't your husband, because a sanctified wife sanctifies a husband.
That's it.
He allowed me to sanctify, to stand in the gap. And when he would not come under that, then God says, now you're free.
Deuces.
And that's why I had to go through the wilderness.
Yeah.
I had to be able to bring everything that I had no business dealing with. I was the one standing in the gap for him, covering him and all of that. And it's still, and then when I come out of it, Brandy can tell you, there have been people who approach me at the highest level, heads of major ministry.
Come on.
You know, some of the people that you see on some of the biggest stages,
yep,
and they're closest friends, okay?
But my friend said no.
I literally was able to say red flag. What'd you say, Brandy?
My friend said nope.
My friend said no. And I was literally able to say no. Even before that, I was able to say no, this is not a go. Because that one person, that C person, I said no, this is not a go. 6 months later, this person was engaging to somebody else. Women, you have got to get to the place where you do not care. I think the problem with us as women is that we don't want somebody else to get our investment. It is not your investment. If you bought a toilet and the toilet was broken, are you going to try and keep it in the house with the stink stuff in there? Or are you going to get the whole thing out your house? Yeah, I invested in the toilet. Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, it was a part of it, but it stink.
It stink.
It stink. It's not. I know I'm gonna feel some. So maybe you need to unfollow them. Maybe you need to stop talking to them. This idea that we can still be friends. Maybe we can still be friends. I gotta be open to the fact that you can't be my friend because we've crossed a line where I felt some type of way about you, and now I can't be. Maybe some years down the line, but right now, so heal, and that might be talking to the person. Don't see their page. Don't look at who they're dealing with. Get deliverance. Get counseling.
Get counseling.
But also understand that you could do all the things and it still don't work. You could wait. You could fast. You could send them back to God, and then they come back. They could then say,
"Come on."
I've met somebody who literally told me something that God showed me in a dream, and yet I still knew he wasn't my husband. Why? Because I was listening. So stay away. Have a relationship.
That's good.
Just like Pastor Lovy is the same with it. I feel like the one thing that came out of tonight is have a relationship with God.
A true relationship.
Nobody else. Have a relationship with God.
Because a sheep hears his voice. A sheep hears his voice.
Right.
And a stranger you will not follow.
Right. You can't have a relationship with somebody if you're not willing to study their characteristics. If I'm dating somebody, I'm learning their characteristics.
Yeah.
If I'm dating somebody, I'm learning their personality. How you getting to know God? You don't even know his characteristics.
You don't date him.
You don't even know his word. What does he say about this particular thing? Did you look it up? Did you go and check it out? So one of the things I would say is you could do all the things that the ladies say. You could do all the things that the books say. At the end of the day, he could be doing it different with you. Have a relationship.
Have a relationship. That's it. We already knew Natalie was going to go last and tear it up. We already knew Natalie. That sums it up. But I'm going to say this, ladies. You guys was on fire.
You may not get married.
No, you are. Stop. You know what? Baby, let me tell you something. The first should be last and the last should be first. And honey, what? Natalie, you doing the one finger. You doing Sierra one finger. You was already done. You got the one finger.
One finger.
Come on.
This close. I've really never been to a wedding since I've been an adult. In my adult year, I've never been to a wedding. Just last week, somebody who I connect with invites me to her wedding and then goes on to say, by the way, there are 4 men that are going to be at my wedding that I want to introduce you to. And I'm like, wait a minute.
4? When is this wedding?
Hey, no, but I'm going to call you after the wedding because I'm going to tell you my story is I go through all of the ideas of people want to do what I'm going to be single still.
No, you're not. I rebuke that. You is going to be married. Let me tell you something. You know why? Let me tell you, the person for you, baby, let me tell you something. He better come correct and not come at all. God is strategically making him. That he's molding him, baby. He better come. Let me tell you, he ain't gonna be able to handle you, baby. So that's why God have to literally design him, specially made. He not done designing him. That's all.
I'm gonna be like the 3 boys in the fire. If God give me a husband or he don't give me a husband,
Come on. But you know what? But look, though he slay me, yet will I trust him type of thing, right? But baby, let me tell you, you already submitted to God. So therefore, you provoke God's hand to move just with how you moving in God, Natalie. You provoke God's hand to move. It's coming, baby. But see, he can't come with no mess. He gotta be, let me tell you, I'm sorry. Plus, we gotta meet him
he
first.
gonna come when you least expect him to come.
That's it, Torree.
I never be expecting
all about
nothing.
my husband, honey, but I heard the Lord,
Come on.
Like,
speak to me.
I never expected nothing, but they coming and they're not real.
Yeah. Yep, least expected. He got to be all the way ready. Sierra said he got to be all the way ready, LOL. Listen. And Datavia said it's coming, Nat. I believe it with you. Come on. We believing it with you. And so listen, y'all, Natalie, man got to come correct. That's right. He better be gonna.
Yes. Help my unbelief?
Yep, help my unbelief. So listen, this was so off the chain, y'all. I'm so excited. We got an after party after this, guys, so don't go anywhere. Thank you guys so much for joining. Y'all brought the fire, y'all brought the heat. I know Natalie and Torree, they go to sleep like old people, so they probably tired right now. Look at Torree. They wake up at 4 a.m. and texting me. And they go to bed at 7 p.m. So this is past their bedtime.
This is some treacherous stuff.
Husband, if you out there for Natalie, make sure you go to bed at 7 too, cause she gonna be mad.
Honey,
she gonna be real mad.
No, listen, honey. If I have a husband,
what you say? You gonna stay up late?
She don't sleep, baby. She don't sleep. What you need to do, honey? You need to get some food.
Wait, Natalie, you gonna switch your time. You gonna go to bed. You gonna go to bed at 12 and wake up at 9. You gonna change all of your work hours, honey.
Listen, we gonna worship a lot together.
All right, I'm leaving. I'm gone. Bye. Listen, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining. Guys, this been a wonderful night. Y'all see this, we let y'all in on our conversation basically. Y'all was just on our virtual couch with us tonight while we was just talking about everything that we usually talk about, right? And so thank y'all so much for joining. This is the season finale. Next season starts July the 21st, okay? So we take an 8-week break, come out on fire. We got new things coming up. Y'all heard before, we have Men Talk. We also have Spoken Truth News I'm so excited about. And we got one thing that I can't mention yet. But however, join us July the 21st. We're our super friends. Thank you so much, Michelle Webb and Ida Ford. We got you in the mail. We will be sending your gift. Ida Ford and Michelle Webb, thank you for being a super friend. We will post you guys tomorrow. Our appreciation for you showing up, sharing the videos, always just commenting. So thank you guys so much. And listen, guys, I have great news. I'm coming out with something soon, so you'll see me back on this platform in July 1st. I will post it everywhere. And guys, listen, we have all our information in the description. Follow all of these ladies. Please follow them. Let them know if you was encouraged by them, something they said. Please inbox them, because ministering on this platform is never easy. But however, we have fun doing it because we're doing it for Christ. So if you need anything, consultation, Natalie have a one-day event. She's a business coach. She have a one-day event coming up on June 3rd. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put her link to all of her information below. Torree also, she's a guru when it comes to health. She have her juicing coming out. She also do workout. I mean, the girl got it going on. She got a lot going on. Nita coming out with children books. If you want to contact her, anything children. Anything children, because the girl bad. And so you can connect with us. You can, inbox us. We here for it. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for joining season finale. See you guys July the 21st for the 7th season. It's gonna be so off the chain. See y'all later.
Here's why you're not a threat to the enemy. He's staking claim over your life through the spirit of unforgiveness.
We have food idols, and you're obsessive with foods. You don't even know why. It's called an idol.
God is getting his people ready to acquire
God is looking to interrupt our lives.
A man without a woman to move the ministry of God forward is utterly impossible.
There is a hunger and a demand and a thirst for the real, authentic presence of God that's not tainted by your personality.
The very fact that you're living and breathing right now is sheer proof that you have a purpose on your life.
We always nosy in the spirit, meaning we want to hear what God is saying.
Yeah.
What you saying, God? I want all of what you.
Yeah.
I need you, Lord.